7 o'clock, July 12th, 2022. Open up the Conservation Commission meeting with Colleen, Ed, myself, and Debbie. And the first thing on the agenda is 48 Elm Street, request for determination of applicability. And I think this is for a septic system.
Oh, there's a...
Is it you?
Yes.
Here is the associated documents, and there's just a short narrative in there. It's outside of the 100 foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know. This isn't for a house also, it's just a septic.
No, it's for, they're gonna be building a house, but
But the house is outside the
Outside,
100,
right.
so
And
that
this is
wouldn't
for-
affect us, correct?
well, the septic's beyond it also.
So,
Yeah,
this is for the
but-
driveway?
Yeah, the driveway and some
Okay,
grading.
got it. Thank you.
Joe Webby Engineering. This is a new lot that Tom Siddell, I don't see him here, has purchased to build a house. And we positioned the house, we have a BBW here that was delineated by Brad Holmes, and then we have your 50-foot and then the 100-foot. And we're not proposing any work within your 50-foot, no touch, well, no, whatever you call it, no buffer. But we are proposing to do, going to have a drive under garage in this area and just some site grading right in this area. So we figured that we could do an RDA and not go through the whole notice.
That makes sense as long as you're not doing anything.
Yeah, where's
anything else
the...
within.
How's it gonna be tilted, the driveway gonna be, where's the water gonna run off?
That's going to be tilted towards the pond.
Okay.
There's no way we can not tilt it that way. It's where all the contours are going. And we are proposing to put up a siltation barrier, so that'll all be along this edge.
Any questions that you can think of?
Kathy, we were talked about the permeable driveway. Was that this project or was that a different one?
I think that was a different one. Debbie was mentioning that other towns, when they're going in within the 100 foot, they do a permeable driveway instead of the tar. Was that something we could?
So what type of driveway you putting in here?
Right now, it's just a gravel driveway. He hasn't proposed anything, but obviously,
Please do
That's
gravel.
and see.
Have a big
Oh,
plan of that,
alright.
like just a permeable gravel
Yeah,
driveway.
there would be crushed stone.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
You could actually put that in your
We'll
idea.
put that in the, yeah, under the,
Oh, okay, so it'll be crossing.
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. Sounds good. You wanna make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to the proposed construction for 48 Elm Street.
Yeah, it's for,
I second it.
and with the, it's for the variances that we mentioned.
Variance, yeah.
Question. Okay, thank you.
Well, we vote on it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, thank you.
Look at that order.
Do we have time?
Any pen?
Pens?
No, we need a few of them.
Not yours.
Nice one, though.
Tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Nice seeing you. No, we can set them in.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That goes in there.
Ed?
So the next one, 705, is the River Street Solar Project, request for minor modification.
Thank you. I'll just get set up here. Would it be alright if I set up at one end of the
Sure.
table?
And is anybody here for the River Street? No? Okay.
So,
Yeah, you can just one of them.
like, turn it
There you go.
So,
Maybe.
thank you for taking the time to speak to me this evening. I sent along a memo that summarized some of the proposed changes. Really, the one that we were hoping to get the Commission's blessing for is a modification to the erosion control limits around the project entrance. So when we had originally conceived of the erosion control limits, you'll notice that they created on the approved plan a long, kind of thin driveway leading up to the culvert crossing over the stream. And as we started down the path towards sequencing construction, we realized that that's going to be a very tight area to move machinery and the box culvert itself through. So what we're looking for is permission to modify the erosion control limit, which is also the turtle protection barrier, to include an additional area. There are two, kind of different points that I'll bring up. The first is that there's an area of about 0.104 acres, which is outside completely of the 100-foot setback. And then there's another 0.105 acres that's inside the 100 but outside of the 50-foot setback. We'd like permission to use.
It separates. Sorry.
So those two sections there.
Go ahead.
Exactly. So we'd like permission to use all that is outlined in red and shaded as temporary staging area, really just during the construction period, so no permanent equipment would be installed there. It would be restored to its previous condition once we're done, and it would just kind of help with the flow of materials, especially at the beginning of the project when we're installing that crossing, and just kind of allow for an orderly sequence. So that is kind of the big one. I'll stop there and ask if you guys.
How much larger is the entrance going to be from previous? You said
It's identical. So there is no change to the project entrance, like the entrance onto River Street. That stays the same. Really what we're asking for is the ability to use some of the upland, essentially, that's right next to the entrance. Because how this came about and how we noticed it was, as you may know, during when you're doing a turtle protection plan, you establish the erosion control, and then once you put up those barriers, that's it. You have to stay inside that barrier for all your construction activities. And so with that long, narrow corridor, we just kind of felt that's going to really restrict us during the beginning of the project. And so what we'd like to do is include a bit more of the upland that's right next to the initial driveway. We would also be proposing that just a bit of an update. We did propose this to NHESP, and they approved it. They said, that's fine. Just implement the same kind of turtle protection measures in that area. So we're going to sweep it and exclude turtles from it. So that is that's the proposal.
You guys any questions in that?
no more
one?
questions from me.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Just as an update as well, for more for informational purposes too. The amended plan that I sent in to you guys, I've overlaid here. So this is the most recent plan. I've overlaid that on here. So what you see in black is the previously approved plan. What's in red is the new updated plan. And you'll notice that what we've done is we've pulled the rows closer together and really consolidated the array. So we're actually impacting a bit less area. We're also going to enclose a smaller area in permanent, sort of fence. Reasons for that, we were just doing, design engineering and trying to optimize things. And as we were talking to the racking company that we're working with, they recommended that we move to as many sort of long rows as we can, because each of them has their own motor, and just basically the fewer of those motors you have to buy, to cost savings and things. So we were able to, kind of shrink the array down a little bit as well. So that not necessarily a conscom matter, because we're still staying inside the same. There's no impact changes or anything. We're still inside the same footprint. But did want to inform you guys as we're since I'm in front of you.
Okay.
All right.
You need a
Sounds
motion?
good.
Sounds good to me.
Motion then.
All right, put a motion for minor modifications of the staging area, temporary staging area for Ridge Street.
I'll second.
Aye.
So I think I would just require like a letter, like not an official amended order of conditions. I can just add it to the file. It's just minor.
Okay.
That would be yes. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Debbie, I have erosion plans for you.
This one you can't do, right?
Which one?
Because you can't come?
I would still talk about it.
Okay.
And I guess we'll just be in touch about the letter.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy, and We'll just add it to the file, I'll send it to DEP.
Yep. Great. Thank you very much.
All right, talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
This is 710, it's 0 and 592 Plymouth Street. Notice of
You know what?
intent.
I think it's theirs, actually.
Okay, what you forget?
Maybe historically it was mine, but I've donated it.
Greg from Halifax Engineering.
Hello. And is anybody here for Plymouth Street? Yep. Okay. Then you guys signed in on the...
Yep.
Perfect.
So this was. We have more information there, added some of that information in there.
What is that?
No.
Oh, that's for the... Oh, go ahead.
I'm Greg from Halifax Engineering, representing ADGA Realty. It's a project the applicant is proposing. It's 2 lots actually. It's 0 from the street and also 592. So they are proposing a combination retail commercial building with parking here and shared parking on the 592 site. Also, as part of this project, they're upgrading the septic system for the house and the existing barn at 592. Most of the work on 0 is within the 100-foot buffer, as well as over here, most of the septic system, as well as a part of the this parking lot over here, which is sharing for here. This is going to be grass-creed. It's not going to be regular paved. This will be paved over here. So,
Question for you on the wetland line. Was that delineated? And
Yes.
do you know when was it delineated?
in 2019, by Elise Tripp, who used to work for us. So, wetland scientist works for us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So 2019, so just about 2021, 22, so it makes it within, it just has to be within 3 years. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. As I said, yeah, a lot of the work here is within the 100-foot buffer, and over here, most of it is all between the 100-foot and the 50, except for this small location over here, which is existing, right now is an existing gravel parking lot from previous development. And that actually, the parking lot goes into it like a couple of feet, but mostly it's going to be regraded and be loamed and seeded. And in that particular area, we're looking for a variance from the 50-foot no activity zone. This project has also been submitted to planning board. They're on the agenda. We're on the agenda for their meeting on the 21st. So they'll be reviewing the project as well. So, that's a brief overview. I can open it up to any questions.
Think of any
I don't have
questions?
questions.
Do you have any
We open up to the public,
Yeah.
if the people here, concerns.
questions that you guys have?
Can you tell me the design of the plant and what's included with the building as far as equipment?
That would be an engineering question where would be something you probably ask at the planning board meeting. Because I am a landscape architect, wetland scientist, so I'm dealing with only the conservation issues.
So how can you deal with the conservation issues if you don't know what you're putting in the plant?
In the plant?
In the building?
Well, I know it's going to be a retail, but they don't know the exact.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So just,
They don't have a client yet, you might say.
so the grading of the driveway, if somebody, say there's a car parked placed there and they're changing oil and all those activities that happen, that's not supposed to happen, how's that wetland going to be protected?
Well, it's all going to be a subsurface drainage system over here and also subsurface, I believe, too.
You believe?
Yeah, because again, I'm not the engineer.
You're proposing a plan that seems incomplete to me.
Yeah, I agree. J.C. or Clyde
Oh, I'm sorry,
Bosworth.
Joe Faber, 66 Clyde Bosworth.
My neighbor, can I just
Go
ask
ahead.
one question? Has anyone done any peer reviews on the watershed, the traffic impact, the wetlands over there, the water supply? What have you people done to
Well, we put this in for proposal, and usually when we put it for planning board or for conservation, they usually send it out for peer review, and I'm not sure what the planning board's gonna do. I'm not sure if they're gonna do a peer review, but we put it submitted per town regulations, the drainage report, as well as plans, and there's several plans showing the septic design. And again, these are all gonna be shown to the Board of Health, because it has to meet Title V and Board of Health regulations. We have to file those permits, and we also have to file with the planning board. And that, again, that's gonna be on the 21st. So here, we're just dealing with conservation issues that the Conservation Commission would deal with.
Okay.
When it comes to design issues like that, that's gonna be more on the planning board.
Okay, question, for the runoff, if you do get a point for the project and everything else, the runoff with the water, how are you gonna control that?
Well, here is it.
I know it's one thing over there, but when the construction's happening,
They would need to apply for a stormwater permit.
stormwater.
Yeah, have you done that yet for the stormwater management?
I believe that the engineers have, or they're going to,
Because we would need that before we could accept anything.
Yeah, we'll just notice if
I
it's
think
in
it's,
now.
they weren't going to apply for it because it's under an acre, so.
It's under an acre?
Under an acre of disturbance, so I believe that they do not have to apply for it.
It's under an acre of disturbance?
Total disturbance, yeah.
And who has, oh, I'm
Who
sorry.
makes that decision that it's under an acre?
Yes.
That's in the regulations. That's in the,
And is that the
Zoning
state
regulations.
regulations or the town of Halifax regulations?
I believe it's in the
That's
town.
Town of
our
Halifax.
town
Town of
regulations, that if
Halifax,
anything is over an acre disturbed, then they have to do the stormwater management.
Now, has conservation been out to the property to do any type of, again, we're looking.
No, this is the first I've heard about
Yeah,
this
it's
project,
just
so
coming for us.
we will make visits. So
Okay, all right.
He's-
So you're
he's just giving us his
seeing this
intent
for the
right now.
first time?
yeah,
Okay, all right.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah,
Dick
yeah,
Steele,
surprise, surprise.
Clyde O'Bosworth across the street from where the project's gonna be, my wife.
I'm
Jean.
here.
Um,
Yes.
So, what you're seeing right now for the first time, it's not that you don't have questions, you just haven't seen enough of it to ask questions.
yeah. You ask questions, we ask questions, we find
Yeah.
out more and more about the project, and obviously when it goes in front of the planning board, there's much more details involved in that. We'll get much
Wish I knew
more.
somebody from the planning board I could talk to. Oh,
Well, I would think that where it's 95% wetlands over there, that I believe, I've been in town for 27 years, I live across the street.
Yeah.
That I would think conservation, with these plans coming forth, would know that it's 93% wetlands, or is it 95% wetlands? And are they asking for a special permit to build on this piece of property, or is this a normal,
This is just a normal
normal.
notice of intent.
okay.
There's nothing special about this application, is there? No.
Yeah, the
Is there
wetlands to the
any-
left.
Is there any special intent with your developer to come in and ask for special permits to have this project work for you, or?
No,
what is
he's
your-
following the zoning and regulations that are,
And conservation,
and conservation's regulations, and these plans are based on that. It's just that one area that's
We can
actually
always
gravel
ask-
parking lot that's
we can always
within
ask for
50
minor.
foot. So that is a variance from
That's
the
within
bylaw.
I think it's in our.
So that we're asking for in conservation.
Give
so
us
you're
the-
asking for a variance
Ask
in
for it.
order to be able to build this?
Build that one section of parking lot that's inside 50 foot, because there's a 50 foot no touch.
Okay,
50 foot, you can't touch anything in there, no activity within the 50 foot of the, whether it's a bylaw. We're asking for this one small area out of this whole project. Of course, it would be up to them.
but again, your developer
Can I
hasn't,
just
again, I
look at-
know I'm repeating myself, and I'm
This
sorry,
is the
because I'm new to all
100.
this, however.
The 50, they don't seem to correlate.
None of,
Well,
what you're
like, should
saying
this go
also
up
is,
more?
your company
You know what I'm
has
saying?
not done any type of
It's
traffic
pretty accurate.
Yeah.
reviews to see what the traffic
is-
is like?
I don't believe that
Yeah.
it's required for a project that's under
I don't have a measurement.
1 acre.
I think there is a minor stormwater management permit that it would probably.
Yeah, we just implemented this and
A few
the
months
town approved of
Yeah.
it. It gives us some leeway to ask for stormwater.
I believe there's a water supply there, because when they built Mobile Gas Station, which is gonna be directly across the street on the side road there, water was squirting out of the ground drastically.
Oh, it was, like the tanks were
Yeah.
bobbing up and down.
In that
bouncing up
area
and
that
down.
you want to get a special parent permit for, I sit on my deck, and I have for 27 years, and watch that area because there's a lot of wildlife. I get a lot of the boxing turtles that come from there, to and from, a lot of deer, there's salamanders over there, there's a lot of wildlife in that area. But that floods over there when it rains, it floods. So how did, you've already obviously done perk tests and all that, correct?
Yeah.
I can't, now I know that property didn't perk in the past, so how many perk
I mean, it's
tests
up
did you
here
do?
where that gravel parking lot is now. It's not down in the areas where you say it flush, so.
Oh no, that parking lot floods towards the front of 106.
Well, they went out and they perked it, so
Can I ask how many perks you did on that property?
let's see, there's 4 showing in here. And there's some for where the septic is.
How many failed?
I
You
don't
don't know?
I don't know. Again, that you're talking the engineering part of it. So.
Yeah. On a variance, if you don't mind me asking, I guess I'm gonna ask you guys.
Yeah.
On a variance that they're asking for, you can either, if you say yes, then, but what if you don't agree with the variance? Does that mean it stops, or does that mean you go to somewhere else, or they have to change? Just to,
Well, we could ask them to change if there was
Change
something
it to
that
make
we
it work.
wanted to, yeah.
all right, so, okay.
So can I ask you a question? Mary Gravity, 98 Clyde, Wadsworth. So those 2 lots, 0 and 592, are owned by 2 different people. Is there one company that's trying to build this unit together? Are they gonna merge? Is someone buying
Well,
one?
they're both together.
How is
Yeah,
that
I'm
work?
missing the ADGA and Malden are real estate. I think the ADGA is buying it, or already has purchased it from Malden. The other company that owns the other lot.
Do we know-
It's still listed that Malden owns that other lot.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if it's purchased, it hasn't gone through yet or something like that, but I think there's an agreement. But they are working together to develop the lot, both lots.
So how is there anything on the historical? I know maybe you guys don't know this, but again, I know you know it's a historical building. Is that something that's come across conservation at all? That part being a historical site?
That, no, that wouldn't pertain to us, I don't
Yeah.
believe.
No,
Okay.
No.
Too many departments.
well, checks and balances.
Yeah.
I don't-
Yeah.
So the property on, I believe, 0, which is the red house, Erica Rustini, 60 Run, is that going to stay exactly how it is right now, or is that going to be completely renovated?
The 592.
I don't know.
Yeah, the house is gonna stay, yeah.
It's going to
Yeah,
stay a
it might
house,
be-
but is it going to stay a house, or is it going to become a
It's gonna
business?
stay a house, yes. And we're upgrading the septic system to getting it up to
Are
Title
you
V.
selling the house or you're gonna rent it?
That's a good question. I don't think the owners decided yet. Obviously, they probably do renovations, but I know it's historical, so they have to be they have to go through whatever town regulations to.
So the reason for the parking, the grass parking behind, let's say, the red barn, is that because there's not enough parking for the structure that's going on 0?
Yes.
And
Yes,
what is
that's
the-
overflow parking, and we're proposing it to be grass green.
And it's going to be connected
Permeable.
to that, the front of that
Well, it's connected
business?
with this walk right here.
Which is,
But there won't be parking behind the structure being built at 0?
No, that's where the new septic system goes.
the parking will be on the 106 side, or is it?
Well, there's parking here, but this would be overflow additional parking.
So it's coming off of Carter
Yeah, that's
Street.
all.
No, off of Carter Street. There's 15 spaces here.
The traffic's a nightmare.
Or 14 over there.
And what is the structure, what is the
Building going.
retail going to be? Has it already been set to what it,
Not, I don't know if they've done the architecturals for it yet. I think they're
is it
looking
one
at
retail space, or could it be multiple retail spaces?
it.
What's the
That's a good
size?
question. I don't think they've decided. It's a 2-story retail, could be office too, so it's retail or office.
Restaurant?
2-story, how wide, do you know?
I don't really got the dimensions on here.
So that 592 house, are they basically selling their land to this company to build this property? So they're gonna get their
I
septic
think that
redone?
person's buying that.
He's buying everything except their house itself, or is he buying the whole thing and they're
Buying
staying?
the whole thing, yeah.
It's just what else is gonna be out.
But he can't, obviously, there's issues with the historical issues with the house. The house is staying as a house, it's not changing. That I know.
So will there be 2 entrances coming to and from this
So
development?
there's one entrance on Plymouth Street and then the one entrance off Carver Street, separate.
Is there going to be traffic lights that he's talking about? How are you gonna control the traffic there?
That's something that, again, that's gonna be a planning board. We'll be discussing that.
Plans at all?
That's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah.
Joe Favor again, how many parking spaces are there?
So it's 15 here, 14, so 29 total.
And
You
to
said
walk
that's a walking path that connects the two?
Yes.
behind the residence.
Behind the historical house? That's crazy.
So unless, the planning board may say you can do that, but you have to screen that off because it's going to be public, I don't know, that's going to be some issues, there's going to be a lot of issues that are going to be. Planning board meetings on the 21st.
Are you presenting to the planning board or is there a different?
No, that'll be an engineer, because we're going to be dealing more with the engineering issues. So we're
And you're the architect? Is that, or you?
No, I'm landscape architect
Just-
and
okay.
wetland scientist. I deal with all the
Okay.
conservation issues, just those, not the
So you hired by the developer or the state?
No, by the
by the developer.
By the developer.
Yes, we.
So I have a question for my conservation board. Again, your wetlands regulations are put forth by the town of Halifax, not the state of Massachusetts. Is
Well,
that
we
what you're
have, we
saying?
have the state of Massachusetts regulations, but then Halifax has its own specific, which is the 50-foot no touch. So they would have to get a variance to go within the 50 feet for the town of Halifax.
So they would need a variance for this, is that correct? Is that what you're
'Cause they're
saying from
going-
looking at it?
Are you going within the 50
No.
feet anywhere?
I don't believe so.
They still, because they're within the 100, so they still have
Right
to.
there.
Anytime they're within the 100, then they come before us.
Okay, and I thought with wetlands, according to the state, if I believe, I'm not a scientist like you are, if you're 100 feet within wetlands, you gotta have another 100 feet of buffer zone, I thought.
Say that again?
If you're within 100 feet of wetlands, from that, you need another 100 feet of a buffer type of zone, is that correct?
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah.
So how do we get a copy of, I'm sure on the website maybe, of the wetland bylaws for our town versus the state?
Are they on the,
They're on the website.
Okay.
But I can, hold on, let me see if I have a login.
Quick question, is it just one septic system that's going in for both
No,
different properties?
one septic system for this,
Okay,
for the
the retail.
retail, and then the new septic system for that house, so totally separate.
Is there a specific reason they wanted to use that area? Is it because it's off a main drag as opposed to the property they own across from Cumberland Farms that is wide open and a giant dumpy building there? Instead of building on that lot that they already own, that's already zoned for business and it's already, we already know that, instead of
Yeah.
using that?
That's a good question.
Maybe you can ask them that,
Yeah.
because that's been an
It's
eyesore
more
for
residential.
20-something
I didn't
years.
know they owned that, because it's,
They certainly do.
Yeah, they
It's more,
do.
it's more of a residential area that they're trying to get into.
There are a lot
Just can't
of
see.
kids and
Because then they're gonna have to
I think
install
it's-
sidewalks. How far down the sidewalks?
You have to do a traffic light. How could you
Oh, we
possibly
don't
get in
have
off
to provide
one?
yeah,
Exactly.
you wouldn't be able to.
Discussion.
And
There's no
come
way.
off of, the side street.
How
No,
is
it's
it
a
Dennis?
tennis.
these are all gonna be planning board issues?
Okay.
Yeah.
How wide is the entrance going to be to the parking lot on Carver Street?
That's probably, that's
that-
20 feet wide.
24 feet, is it?
24 feet.
And how
It says
far
24 feet
into
there.
Carver Street will it be? Because that corner is disastrous.
Yeah.
High accident area right there.
Yes, right in front of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are for us. Yeah, some of these questions really aren't conservation.
Right.
Well, we went to zoning last night because it was on the agenda in two different places for zoning to discuss the plans that people brought. We got to zoning and they said, oh, we don't know anything about this, we haven't looked at anything yet. So as citizens, we were supposed to show up for the meetings and they said, we haven't looked at anything yet, we have nothing to talk about. So we're trying to make sure we show up because we are vehemently opposed to this whole
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So we don't want to miss, and everyone keeps saying, well, it's not our job, it's the next meeting, it's the other board, it's another board. So we're gonna show up at every meeting.
Yeah, conservation is ours.
Right, but they said last night, well, you have to start with conservation. If they say no, then you go back. But again, you just got this for the first
Right,
time as
correct.
well. So we're just gonna show up at all of them. So
Okay,
just,
no,
okay.
that's all right. We appreciate that.
No, I know,
Yeah.
I just feel like we're getting the runaround of this whole thing.
So,
And we didn't know anything about it until.
They put up a sign that said approved retail space, 2 stories
Yeah.
on that lot, that it wasn't approved.
Yeah.
But they put the sign up there saying it was an approved lot for a 2-story future retail space.
we're just hoping you just approve the, you just don't approve the variance. I mean, that would make things,
Yeah.
We
people would
love to have
understand.
businesses come into town. So we don't want to sound bitter towards you or the developer because it's their land. Everybody has a right to do what they want with their property, you know, and their land and have businesses and everything. We as residents living in the area with a lot of children, there's a lot of traffic already, just with the mobile gas station going in. And then you have Stephanie's gas station right there. It's crazy. We can barely get out now with the traffic. But our concern also, we have a lot of children in the neighborhood that ride their bikes to school every day. You know, what is the trash gonna be like coming from this building? If it's gonna be a restaurant, an auto parts store, I'm hearing a pharmacy, I'm hearing a drive-through, possibly resturant. So,
This
it's,
particular design couldn't do that, for sure, I can tell you that. But, you know, I don't know exactly what it's gonna do, so yeah, again, I think planning board's gonna be the one where they're gonna have those kind of questions to the planning board. Because that's where they deal with traffic and all those
yeah,
things.
and the wetlands.
Nobody was ever
I know.
The wetlands are pretty much what we're here for
We haven't had
today.
anybody go out and look at it.
Right.
Especially-
So we should
trying to get a
I would think
variance
maybe
for
we'll
the
have, maybe,
wetlands so you can
and
build
maybe
your
even
parking.
higher.
There's one spot, which, this one variance area right now is gravel parking lot. So we'd actually just be
And then we
going
can
into the
ask
gravel parking lot area with our new parking,
Yeah,
2
so
feet,
then
and then grading it off. And
Okay.
so it'd actually be
We're not
turning it
making
into
any decision.
loam and seed, grading it down to the existing grade. Everything's got erosion control, it's gonna control anything, it's gonna be all, you know, all the grass has gotta be back to, you know,
How deep
stabilized.
is the driveway?
How deep?
From the street, yeah.
That's probably 60 feet.
60 feet?
So,
Because you got parking spaces,
Yeah,
so parking spaces in the drive aisle, 24 foot long.
so you say 63 feet.
So
And how far you have to be
We're
from the
on
wetlands?
this. this
Close
is
to
the
100, right?
description of the project.
yeah,
No, there's a 50-foot no touch.
50-foot no
50 foot no
touch.
touch.
Yeah,
So I
From
think,
the driveway, from the parking lot,
from the edge of the parking lot.
50 foot.
Yeah.
And how far is it? I'm sorry, I was like, I might have
It's
missed
like
that.
a tiny.
Well, the corner of the thing is 48 feet, so it's just going in
2-foot variance.
and then put it in the variance area to get a variance.
Yeah.
And that area now is gravel, and
Technically, you want to put variance.
2-foot
For the 50
variance,
foot.
and then we'll loam and seed the rest of it.
The plan.
So the
I think
turning
so.
back would be something better, but I mean, obviously you need a variance.
I think there's 2 things that Gwen is, I'm gonna have you fill out for the stormwater management for the minor. So I do that. And also, I think we'd want to have someone come out and just confirm the wetland line.
Yeah, we need a fight.
Yeah, so I think I'm
Site
gonna have someone go out and just confirm that. Do you have flags out there now?
Yeah, well, I
Okay.
should be out there, yeah.
So we'll continue this if that's okay with you for to
Yeah,
the next
I was
meeting.
assuming that you
We'll
would-
find somebody to just go out and take a look at the wetland line, and then we'll have you fill this application out. Sound
Okay.
okay? And then we can continue it with the next
Yeah.
meeting?
That's fine.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Sure.
The septic that you perked in the areas, did you test the soil where the septic's going? In the leaching fields?
It was perked. I know the perk tests were on there, and we've got a septic design.
I've
I
never,
mean, these are all these plans, there's a plan set, so these are all
What
gonna
I'm
be shown.
just saying is where you perked is where the septic is going?
Yes.
I got one question. Dave Rossini, 60 Run Road. So when you're looking at that parking lot right now, the gravel parking lot, you're cutting all those trees down? And we're gonna see the bog behind it?
Actually, we're not cutting the trees in that area. We're actually
In that
moving
area?
up.
But you're gonna be cutting trees
But there are
down?
gonna be trees, like there's a whole swath of trees that come through.
So it's gonna open up so you can see the cranberry bog in the back?
I don't think it'll go that far, but there are gonna be trees that are in between the house and this building. Yes, some of those trees will be removed.
And how many feet are from the retail to that first house on 106? That big colonial?
So, right here?
Nope, the retail building.
Yeah,
Beside the retail building there's a house,
this house you mean?
Nope, the opposite way.
opposite way.
There's a house.
Oh, this house over here?
Okay.
This house over
Yeah,
here?
okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably,
That's 610, that property.
yeah, 60 feet?
And that,
From that corner of that house to where this drainage,
oh, so it's gonna be like a retention pond
yeah, that's
almost?
it, yeah, that's it.
Okay. And then on the other side, on Carver Street, how far from that dirt parking lot is it gonna be to that person's house?
This person down here?
Yeah.
I don't see the house on here, but I think that's probably gonna be, again, I don't see the house, I'm not sure where the house is.
Because I live right there, so how many feet is it going away? Like, so from Carver Street to my driveway, there's really not much room for anyone to pull in and out of there at that corner, it's just,
You're
it's
trying to run
not.
over the other side of the entrance. Or is that where the mobile station is?
No, the mobile's right here, I live right here, so between here and here, there's only a small little swath where they can pull in, and the traffic here is just unbelievable.
Yeah. So they have buildings sitting right beside the home. Yeah.
These big sodium lights,
Yeah.
like mobile.
Yeah.
But I guess I think we're going to continue this to the next meeting. If you want to hold up and all your questions, you can ask the next meeting, because we just have a few other things on the agenda I want to get to, or we want to get to. When is the, if we go, when is the next meeting?
26th?
And what time can we do?
It's up to you, if you want to do it earlier or later.
Probably later, just in case
So we can
don't
get
hold up
everything
anybody
else done
else.
first, yeah.
So you want to plan like maybe 7:30 or 7:20? Which one do you think?
Yeah,
58 feet.
7:30?
7:15, because we're expecting the violation next week.
Yeah.
Next meeting too.
Next meeting too, so
And that's too.
Okay, so 7:15?
Yeah.
Okay, so make a motion. Anybody to continue this?
I'll make a motion to continue 592 Plymouth Street to July 26th at 7:20.
One second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Did you say the 25th or 26th?
7:15. Okay. So,
Oh,
I
7.
guess, yeah.
And the other one is
So we have solitude lake management. We
We're
got
asking about, you can see that all online too. And they have their own.
another hour, yeah, we have to start. Yeah, they can ask questions next week. I guess we're gonna just go on to the next one. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And this is, Debbie, this is for you to take, correct?
Or I can send it in an email, I can send it to you.
Is that online too?
Were you here for 592? Is that what you were just saying?
Okay, I'll come.
I'm gonna finish the planning on the 23rd. Okay,
You wanna come to that?
Well,
All right. Yeah. So,
thank you very much for your time.
you're welcome. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
And the bylaws are online if you want to read them.
Yes, I will. Do you have
Okay.
copies also, though?
Do you want a copy?
I would love to, yeah, if I could. Something I could read on the
So
ride.
they're stronger than the state.
You're stronger than the state, and
Yeah.
that's due to the wetlands. I have one
Well,
more
because
question.
it's up to the municipality to decide that.
Right,
Yeah.
but I do have another question. The bog owner out back is constantly flying helicopters.
That wouldn't be conservation though.
No, but I
I
had a
think that's
question
kind
to
of falls
him.
before.
With the helicopter back there pollinating the bogs, or whatever they do, spraying, how is that gonna affect flying right? I mean, what's the aviation, I wonder? Maybe that's something we gotta look into too.
Yeah.
Because they come pretty
Okay.
low.
Thank you.
And that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all
Yeah.
right, well, I'll let
Okay,
you go. I know
thanks.
you're busy.
Okay, so being
Thank
seven,
you.
you're welcome. Being 7:40, we're gonna open the 7:15 for Solitude Lake Management, request for minor modification to an order of conditions. This is for the proposed alum treatment.
Yes. good
Hi,
evening.
sorry
How are
for the delay.
We're here, we've done, so the alum treatment started on Mount Ponce in 2013. We've done a number of years of alum treatments. And as you probably know, the blue-green algae problem has significantly gone away from Mont Ponce, the West Basin, so the alum treatments have worked. But we are proposing to continue doing occasional maintenance treatments to address some of the additional phosphorus that's coming in from the watershed loading, and some that may still be seeping up from deeper down in the sediments. And additionally, we'd like to extend the alum treatments over to the East Basin, that it does occasionally have problems as well. It was added to the list of impaired waters and the most recent list as well for phosphorus and harmful algae blooms. So the plan, so I believe the plan was distributed, but we've revised the habitat management plan and submitted it to Natural Heritage. They're reviewing it. I've kind of been speaking with Ms. Deanne. I believe they're going to approve it, but we haven't received the letter yet. But the plan is for this year to treat both basins of the pond with alum, and then periodically every 3 to 5 years, probably do an alum treatment every 3 to 5 years to address the watershed loading. I can get into technical aspects of it too. The dose proposed for this year is 8 grams per square meter, so that's 8 grams of aluminum. Which is a fairly small amount over a square meter of the bottom, and we treat all areas of the pond that's greater than 5 feet deep. We've done it, as I said, a number of times in the past. We go out with a larger barge with tanks on it. The alum's delivered to the site with tanker trucks. We fill our barge, we go out, put it out using GPS and record everything. So the new thing this year will be doing East Mont Ponce, which has occasionally been closed for the cyanobacteria blooms, which we want to prevent that from happening over there as well. But yeah, I mean, this alum's been a success on the pond, so we'd like to continue.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it so far.
Yeah, I mean, the East Basin, I was trying to go back and look at the original notice of intent that was filed back in, I think it was like 2009 through 2011, I believe, and originally it looked like they proposed to do both basins, and then somewhere along the line they changed it to just the West Basin.
I do kind of remember them doing the both at one point.
But this, so the revised habitat management plan really gives all the details. It gives the history of what's been done in the past, what the plan is, that there'll be, we've been doing annual water quality monitoring and algae monitoring. That'll be continued. There's also, due to the rare and endangered mussels, Natural Heritage has required us to do mussel surveys in the past, which haven't shown any negative effects on the mussels, and those will be continued. But they'll be done after this year's treatment, and then every 5 years. It's all spelled out in the plan. I believe Natural Heritage will be approving it.
Yeah.
They had a couple of really simple questions, revisions to just the way the tables were laid up. It was nothing substantial, so I expect that will be approved. So we're just looking for the Commission's approval to continue the maintenance treatments and extend the treatments over to the East Basin.
Sure.
I have one question.
Sure.
Have you gone in front of Mr. Valerie and the Board of Health yet? I know they're very supportive
of your work? Do you have the blessing of the Board of Health yet?
We're actually not required to, but
Okay.
they haven't asked us to come in front of them.
Okay.
I believe I might have ran into him, because we're also doing the herbicide treatments
Yeah.
as well, trying to control the invasive fanwort and milfoil, which is working very well so far. I think I ran into him at the boat ramp last week when we were doing the treatments, and yeah, he seems very supportive of everything. We're not actually required to get any kind of permit or approval.
Okay, 'cause I know the public will ask, so that's why I wanted to ask, but no, I
Do you have a
was.
question? I'm so sorry, Ken.
No, it's okay. I reported at the last meeting, I was out for another on the lake because of other things, and it was thriving. It's the best I've seen in so long. You guys have done a great job.
Oh, thank you, appreciate that. It was originally designed with the conjunction with DEP as part of like the impaired waters, and there's a draft TMD. I don't know if it's been finalized for phosphorus, but this was all, the initials up to this point has been all completed what DEP had wanted to do. So right now we want to just kind of go into a maintenance mode and maintain the good conditions that we've achieved now.
Sure. You had a question?
Yeah, I think the Joe Favor 66, out of Bosworth. I know what the weeds are and the growth, that type of stuff. But when you started the projects for these two lakes, you take a baseline sample of what the water quality is?
Yes.
And what was the pH?
I don't have that off the top of my head, so I'd have to check on that.
Okay, because there was a notice you can't go in the lake. When there was some treatment, I think they said it was treated, you couldn't go swimming and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that was this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the herbicide treatments.
Yeah.
That was more, it's not required by the label. It's not really a toxicity thing, it's more of just a safety thing to keep folks out of the water while we're going around applying the herbicide.
Right.
The first time we've done 2 treatments so far. The second time we only restricted swimming. We allowed people to go in with boats and for fishing, just to keep people out of the water. It's nothing to do with that it's not safe for people to be in the water. We just, we're going around applying the pellets or the liquid herbicide. It's just something about, we just don't want people in the water, even though it's not required by label.
My question basically is, so this aluminum
sulfate.
Is that a raise the pH or lower the pH?
The alum will lower the pH. So what we do, we actually apply.
Acidic.
I'm sorry?
It's more acidic.
Alum by itself will lower the pH, but what we're actually doing here on Ponset Pond is we're applying 2 aluminum products, aluminum sulfate and sodium aluminate, and what they do is
balance out.
The alum lowers the pH, the sodium aluminate raises the pH, so we do it at a 2 alum to 1 sodium aluminate ratio with the volume that we put out, and it maintains stable
And then you take other grab samples?
Yeah, we do.
Locations throughout the lakes?
Yeah, so we're doing monthly sampling as part of an ongoing sampling, but during the actual alum treatment, we also 3 times a day monitor the pH and alkalinity to make sure that everything's working the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So basically, there's recommendations on the label, and they just went and followed those extreme recommendations that were there.
Right.
And I understand your concerns. I used to be a special state commissioner for mosquito control, so I fully understand. But MDARF would follow a lot of the pesticide things, not most of it. But they also use what's called the National Pesticide Institute. You can go right online and look it up. You can do live chat with them about any of your concerns. They'll send you the labels. They'll answer any questions. They'll get you in contact with the companies. It's a great resource for the residents to have, even town employees or people that have licenses that might be having questions or don't have something that they might need right away.
Does the Conservation Board get the MSDA sheets, material data sheets?
I think they would have originally. I can resend them to the commission. This is not a registered pesticide, but it does have an SDS sheet. But it does not have a pesticide label because it's not a pesticide.
Okay, the only reason I'm asking, if somebody's swimming, something happens to their eyes, they're irritated, At least
Yeah.
the fire department should know that maybe there was something in the water that
Yeah,
caused it.
so, yeah,
And they'd be able to
we
get
can,
those sheets and
we can
information.
send the herbicide and the alum products that we're using, we can provide those, that stuff. The herbicide is a pesticide, the alum's not. And trying to we're getting the two projects kind of intertwined here a little bit. But yeah, we can send that along to the commission so that they have them if they don't already.
Any other questions, anybody?
I have one question.
Sure.
Is the herbicide, you said it's not registered, so it's a B25 and/or classified as organic then?
So I was referring to the alum. The
Okay.
alum, yeah, I was getting things mixed up. The herbicide we use is a registered pesticide. It does have a EPA label. The
Got
alum does not.
Got it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And my only concern is I'd want to, pending the NHESP approval.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the
absolutely.
only thing I'd ask for.
Yep.
Anything else, anybody?
That's it.
No.
We're also going in front of the Hanson Commission on the 20th as well, even though they only own a tiny part.
Yeah.
Tiny part of the
I've
building.
heard great things from Hanson about you too.
Oh,
And
good.
I'd let Debbie know I ran into the new chairman of the Hanson Rec Commission. And they want to start looking at McQuon Pond too, and they didn't realize that all the towns and everybody had worked together and because they're all brand new, they were so excited.
Nice, that's good
And
to
that there
hear.
was already establishments over there, so.
I think we surveyed McQuon Pond last year.
Need a motion,
Yeah,
yes.
it would be cool.
Want to make a
I'd like a motion for the minor modifications to an order of conditions for the lakes,
Oh.
east and west.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay. And then for the 72031 Ocean Ave, the Wetlands Act violations, they're not coming in tonight for
Right.
that.
Right.
I don't know if you wanted to discuss it at all or just continue it.
Maybe let's short discussion because we did go out there. We did go out there. Obviously, does have a lake there, and pilers are in the water, holding the deck up. And to the right of his property, I would have to get the plans, but to see what the easement is for the people to go there. He did put pavement down.
On that paper
Yeah, and
driveway.
he's parking some kind of motor vehicle on that, but we have to see what the radiants are for that part. I don't know what we can do. I always thought we were to the water for the lakes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a state issue more than us, the dock itself, since it's in the middle of the lake. So I'm not
Yeah.
positive on that.
The dock is, Debbie, they have to come before us for the dock, correct?
They do. They have to
Yeah.
come before the Conservation Commission, whether it's a floating dock or whether it's a pile supported
Because
dock.
they need to apply, is it notice of intent or RDA for the dock, correct?
It depends. It's
Oh,
like
what
for a
type of
floating
dock
dock,
it
it
is.
might be an RDA, but for a dock such as this, it would be a notice of intent.
Good night, thanks.
Which wasn't done.
So he said he did file an NOA now, but
Yes.
not before.
But he, to the DEP, not to us.
Oh, not to us, okay.
And we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
more
completed.
strict,
Yep,
um,
for the town.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very
So-
familiar with the dock rules,
Yeah.
what we're
Yeah.
in charge of and what the state is.
Yeah, and he continued to do work
After we sent the
being
letter.
served, and then he wouldn't work with me until the chair got involved. And then we found out that the multiple things that he said during open session were dishonest, and we got the feedback from the chief and other different things. And
So, my opinion, I don't think we
and he's
even.
still using it, you
Yeah.
can see it driving by,
Well,
you
it's a
can see
violation
him
of
still.
chapter 91, so if we formally report it to the chapter 91 waterways,
Have we done that yet?
DEP, no, I can send them
I
everything that
think
we
so,
have,
do
and
that.
they will go out.
And I think we should send him one last letter saying that we are going to start fining him.
Well, the building department can actually fill out a ticket, and we can start implementing those daily fines, if you want to do that. I don't see what another warning is going to do.
Yes,
Right.
that's a great idea.
Yeah,
So I think.
But I think,
the ticket
yeah.
And,
things have to come
yeah.
down.
Yeah, and he built, and the
'Cause he-
blueprint's bigger and the.
Because he said it wasn't tile supported, he said, but then he talked about hydraulics.
Well, he has
There's
hydraulics
no
for the hose.
hydraulics for the boat yet to take it out and store it for the winter. Not yet, but I want to put it,
Supported.
No, they are, because
I want
it's,
to put it past them to have it
To have it-
done by the end of summer.
they're right underneath the dock,
Yep,
and the water line's here, say, right?
yeah,
And it's going above, so obviously he's supporting it.
right.
So,
And then he probably got cinder blocks or something.
I don't know what he did underneath the water thing. He says, he told us, I don't know if it's on his stomach, but he says he just put the post down and
Into the water?
onto the sand, not in the sand, but that's
Sounds safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just the dock itself, because it shouldn't have the pergo roof on it, it shouldn't have electricity
No, right,
going
so
out
that's
to
chapter
it.
91.
Shouldn't have-
Does he need the wire inspector? Do we have a wire inspector he has to go to have the wiring go out there?
But it
Yeah.
shouldn't, it's, a dock shouldn't have any of those things
Absolutely
on
not.
it.
So
A dock should just be.
Ed's right, though. We need to let the wiring inspector know that
Okay.
X, Y, and Z is going on. It's not our wheelhouse, but we're the ones
We
who
can pass on the
discovered it.
information,
Yeah.
That's such a huge danger.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an electrician, so.
Yeah, depends what he puts it in.
Okay, so we'll just,
Continue?
we're gonna continue that, but you also work on getting
Right.
things started.
Sure.
Should, where it's been difficult, and we originally said we didn't want the mess on national heritage, but I mean,
We didn't what?
because he didn't dive to put the dock in, so we
Oh
don't
yeah, to
know
put
what's
those pilers on, you have to
yeah.
put this, a big huge,
So,
to
Oh,
dig.
yeah.
there is rare
NHSP.
species, there is thing
Yeah.
that was thriving. He did mention that there were eggs, fish, and spawning in open meeting. He let us know that. We just don't know exactly which species.
Well, now
So
that
I'm
he's filed,
curious.
now that he's filed with DEP, NHESP should be notified, correct? Shouldn't they get notification?
Yeah, I don't have a copy of the notice of intent.
But you also say,
I just see a DEP file number, I don't have a copy of it, so he would need to indicate that, you know, that checkbox, the NHESP, they are aware of it, I've let them know too, so I've been in touch with those departments.
Okay.
Okay.
okay. So,
So do we need a motion to
to
continue?
continue this to, next meeting.
So I'll make a motion to continue 31 Ocean Ave Wetlands Act violation to the next meeting, July 26th.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Second motion.
Aye.
Do you know what time?
Let's see, well, we have the other one at 7:15. Do you think
Well,
we can?
Colleen said 7:20, which is fine. What, should we put him on at 7?
Yeah, let's start him off at 7.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then-
I'm sorry, did you guys have any questions I didn't ask you about 31 Ocean Ave?
Yeah, I do. Are you guys gonna stop
We're
the
gonna-
fines? You guys gonna stop the fines, or are you wait until the 26th?
No, we were gonna look into,
We're gonna,
Chapter 91, was it?
yeah,
we're gonna have the building inspector
can
start
write the ticket.
writing
He
tickets.
can-
yeah. So we're gonna start doing that
Yes, sir.
I
because,
just didn't know what happened with that. That's why I had
Yeah.
that question.
yeah, because nothing else seems to make an impression. So maybe that will.
We've been extremely patient. That's
We
been
really
our last
have.
resort.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know,
So, welcome to being a volunteer. You both volunteer on different boards than here, so
yeah.
you're aware.
Okay, so well, we have some discussions.
Okay.
Tina Kenyon of 6 Pasture Lane neighborhood taxed incorrectly for their properties. Is
Ah.
everybody here, Tina?
I am.
Okay, hi.
So, this is kind of twofold. I live on Pasture Lane,
Uh-huh.
which is an unfinished street. I've been dealing with the planning board now for close to 15 years, trying to get my street finished. Recently, I was able to recover some plans for the street, and it appears that when my home was signed off, I'm on half vegetative wetlands. So when all of these homes were built, all of our downspouts were supposed to go into the water retention area. None of that has been completed. That's one goal. The second goal is I am on vegetative wetlands. When we first moved in, we came in and we asked if we could get where you don't pay complete taxes because you can't use all
You can't use the
land.
land, yeah.
Yeah, and I was told absolutely not. I could use every ounce of my land. Until last year when I went to put in a pool, and I was told I had to come before conservation because I couldn't actually put in a pool without coming before conservation. So for 15 years I've been full tax because Ms. Renault, who used to be the secretary, told me absolutely not, you have to pay full tax until I went to put in the pool. So now I have the pool, We went through conservation though, and we have conservation, so we've been taxed one bill for the last 15 years. Everyone in our neighborhood gets one bill. I've talked to numerous people in town who are also on conservation land, all just getting one bill. So I don't know if you guys need to sit down with someone in the tax assessor's office, because it doesn't appear that people are being taxed properly for their conservation land.
The commission can only help those who come in front of us, but it is definitely something I'd suggest be brought to the Board of Selectmen's attention. Because it would be their wheelhouse to look into that. We wouldn't sit with the tax assessor, like we have no say over that.
It's fine, I just, in all of my going through this stuff to try and get my street finished, I'm noticing gross discrepancies of things that weren't done, that should have been done with conservation.
Yeah.
We can help you
And
with that.
is that why the street didn't get signed off yet? Because
No, the
these
street
things
has a
have not been
land
done?
bond, and that's why it didn't get signed off. But when we put the pool in, my back neighbor was like, oh yeah, my driveway's flooded. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. So, I mean, it's just little things that, just one thing happens to do another, and things weren't properly done. So I'm trying to write all that stuff at the same time, get my street finished. So.
Yeah. But as far as the taxes, yeah, probably the Board of Selectmen for that.
The first, when I had to ask the selectmen how to handle your unique situation, I needed a lot of guidance. And then I had to educate the board and Deb about the guidance. The first step is to come to conservation. We can say, yes, she does have conservation land on her property. Now you have your, for lack of a better term, evidence. And then you go into the Board of Selectmen.
I have to go before them anyway, because planning has passed our street off to the selectmen, so.
Okay, but we're
you're
gonna
very happy
pass.
to see us.
So maybe we can get it on the agenda for the same night. Can we ask Pam if we can have the selectmen and Miss Kenyon? Because the conservation's passing an issue too, so she doesn't have to go out twice. Maybe a 2-in-1 deal with the selectmen. If the selectmen will hear poor Miss Kenyon
When they
on
hear
both things.
Yeah, when they hear pasture lane about the street being finished, could they also deal with our conservation issue at the same time?
Yeah. But if you came before us for the pool last year, then it should already be in the books that you have conservation land.
There's a lot of things, but
You know,
there's a lot of things that are
You've already
happening.
come before us, so.
So is conservation?
We did.
Yeah, so.
Is conservation supposed to request that to the selectmen, or does
No,
the
I don't.
resident, or who?
No, I was just seeing if we could do Miss Kenyon a courtesy, rather than have, so they're aware of the whole issue at once. Because
And not just parts and pieces, because.
But you're already going in front of the selectmen for a different
We
matter?
went to planning last week, the planning board passed us to the selectmen, so we should be going before them
It's
soon.
going anyway,
I'm just
okay.
not sure what agenda we're on yet.
Maybe if you
I think it's
went
probably
and
better
talked to
that
them.
you fully that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean?
That's fine, I can absolutely do
Yeah.
that, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Pam's great.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
talk to Pam and ask her that you
And
tell her you want to talk to her about both things.
how do we handle giving Tina the evidence do we need? Can we give her a letter? Yes, she really should
I'll
not
just
be
have to lose, look at her
getting
and
one
ask Jeff.
tax bill.
Well, she can- she-
really lives on blah, blah, vegetative wetlands, because the only,
Well, she
yeah,
can
like
come
the
and look
only
at
reason the first steps coming before conservation is to confirm that there's
Got it.
really
But it's already been,
wetlands there.
but it's already been confirmed that she came here last year for the pool, so that should already be,
Yeah.
Somehow it's
on the
not,
plan.
it's
it's already on the plan.
Because she has to
Yes.
file a complaint with the selectmen for the taxes, so she needs our
So-
support, because something's
Oh, if they want to
something's
ask
not
us,
right
it's-
somewhere.
Somewhere,
Yeah, but it should be right on the file. It's like,
there's a lot.
They're just asking for a letterhead from conservation that states she has
That's-
conservation land. It's an easy, simple thing, and then she can take it and it makes it just easy.
Right.
I believe. I didn't even know this was on the agenda.
Yeah.
I
if you want to
until
take,
I was at the
can she get a copy of the, of
Yeah, I
that?
can make it, I have tomorrow.
Oh, okay, then-
From
So
when
it's-
I bought the house.
She's been fighting it for 15 years and everything she always brings before everybody isn't good
They're like,
enough,
no,
so.
really?
All I'm asking is a letterhead, yes, from conservation, yes, she really has.
She has
wetlands.
conservation.
The maps have never been good enough, I don't know what else to do other than be like,
That's
yes,
right.
we talked about this at this meeting, yes, there really is
Yeah.
wetlands.
Well, should I
On a
provide
letterhead
a
from
copy
us.
of this?
Yeah,
or-
you want to send him a copy of that with a little letter saying that this is her
Yeah.
property and
She does have
it has
wetlands.
wetlands on it.
Hold on.
Super simple, stupid, but
Yeah, okay.
apparently it's needed.
Yeah,
Right.
That's all I got.
Okay.
okay, we
Okay,
can do
so I
that.
can do that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all. I mean,
So let me just make sure I have your contact info, okay?
Sure.
Like, I have your phone number, I can find your email too.
So you wanna,
19th the next one.
what's with
Okay.
19?
Okay, so 19 Wamsuta Ave is reported violation.
Move some trees and
Brush
brush.
removal and you're welcome
Bye,
in
Tina.
wetland area without permit.
to see you.
good to see you too.
See you later.
Certified mail, so someone sent us, or you sent, I'll read for Debbie.
So I'll write it like to Tina,
Yeah,
saying this to confirm all that stuff. Just-
All right,
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
next one, 19 Wasuda.
Wamsuta Ave. So what's this, Debbie? Did somebody come before, sent a
So-
letter or called or?
Somebody called and then also dropped off some photos, which is,
We have to file, there's nothing.
there's a file with a copy of the letter that I sent
Oh, okay,
to the homeowner.
okay.
She never responded. I requested that she call the office. She didn't. Her neighbor dropped off that envelope of photos. The manila
Is-
under there, under.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So someone would actually have to go
Okay.
see what's going on. I guess.
So this is from the neighbor.
Yeah. Unless you could tell by those photos, I don't know.
Well, neither.
Violation report. This is all from the,
That's from the neighbor, yeah. So she was removing vegetation and trees. And told her neighbor that she had come to us for approval. She hasn't.
so this is pictures of the property.
I don't know how helpful they'll be. I think maybe a visit would be good.
Yeah, we need a copy of
probably.
the, oh, there's a ton of pictures
Okay, here we go,
Yeah.
here's our pictures. Yes.
Next to the pond, right.
And this, she sent the list, she never responded to you.
Right. Actually didn't get the certified receipt back either. So, I don't know.
And something to do with the septic also? 2 past septic, 6 refused to pump
Oh, geez, you didn't
without
think about that.
reporting violation, run into pond, 2 separate living quarters.
So you said they're saying the septic tank's overflowing, it's going to the lake?
There's a little note right there says.
Oh, well, he didn't mention that.
Board of Health will go up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Board of Health would trump us
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah,
yeah, the 2 separate living quarters has nothing to do with us, but
yeah,
it
it shouldn't
says
have
also
it.
could be the building inspector.
but- Zoning.
Zoning.
Only one resident, but two.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe pass on to zoning and the building inspector about that, and also about the
And,
septic going into the pond.
could you give us a copy of the plans for the property?
For 1/7?
For 19? Lawsuits, yeah. So we get the, Graham seems
Like an
like.
overview?
Was the complainer named? Did the
Did they leave a name right in the
themselves,
neighbor?
or are they anonymous?
We don't like anonymous.
Most of them are anonymous.
Was this one an
Caller
anonymous?
ID, nothing's anonymous.
I'll have to check the voicemail again.
Yeah.
He didn't put it in the letter? Is that right?
Oh,
Oh, it's
yes.
William Shaughnessy
Oh, okay.
at 21
The postman.
Momsen.
Okay.
Okay, we got a person, so we can look.
So
Yeah, maybe we can,
basically, it's right on the pond. It's,
yeah,
You want me to-
he's at 21, so it's probably a neighbor, so.
Yeah, right
we
next
can-
door. There's-
yeah.
Yeah, probably want to go out and take a look at it.
I don't know if this would be helpful. I don't know. This map
That's from
number.
the show,
It just shows us like right on the edge of
It's
the
just,
pond.
he has a really small property and that's it.
You know what I mean? Unless you want to like lure.
Well, if I go out there, I can figure out how many steps away from the lake he is. I'll go out to do a site visit on that one.
Oh yeah, so he's right next door.
And also, yeah, but we definitely need the board of health if it's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
leaky septic
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can go out there with you too, whatever day works for you.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, those 3 days. Oh, I'm off
Let me
Sunday.
double check.
I'm working Friday, Saturday.
So while you're doing that,
No, Saturday in the morning.
there's another one.
I have a question, Deb. Did you say the neighbor dropped it off?
Yes.
Yes.
I wonder if they're elderly.
If who's elderly?
I think so.
The
Because then it's
person in
enough,
violation that we're going to look at.
I think so.
And if they are, the town has options. Darlene at the Council on Aging.
Uh-huh.
She has resources to help financially with septic pumping and other
Oh,
things.
Okay.
As well as, there's other resources in town.
Good to know.
That's good to know.
What did we ask for that in town for?
What?
Who's the person with the resources? We asked the town.
Council on Aging?
The Council on Aging.
Oh,
So yeah, she,
If they're elderly.
No, that's okay. I'm probably whispering.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. So,
sorry.
so we'll go out and see that one, and then
Yeah.
the next one is the next one the other one you gotta talk about? Okay, 597 Monpont Street.
Is that the
And
old
that's a
movie
s-
theater?
That's a 6-foot fence and removal of vegetation without permit.
Where was the presentation?
Where's the old movie theater?
Next to, what's that?
It's 597 Monpont.
It's across from the
Okay.
church.
Is it near
after
Davis there?
550
Oh,
Tavern.
with the Autobono place?
Yeah. It's got the, if you're headed towards Hanson, it's on the left. It's framed now and it's got some other metal fencing
It
around.
has something framed
They've
off?
cleared some stuff around it, yeah.
It's across the street from our lady.
Okay. We get to go take a look at that too.
Or whatever they call it now.
Okay.
Parcels.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Like I tried looking on online with Mass Mapper and Google Earth, but it's a fence, so I can't see how high it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Is there a building
rule on
permit?
heights of fence.
What's that?
Do we know if there's a building permit?
No one's come before us.
No.
Years ago, they did, like 2 years
597,
ago.
no, it sounds familiar though.
Because if it's,
Let me look.
I know it's been in
Under.
front of one board because it does sound familiar.
It
It was
does.
a big thing, how many months ago, Amy?
Which thing about it?
Oh, the old, okay, so yes, so it's definitely been in front of other boards.
It was in front of us like 2 years
Never
ago.
went in front of.
Remember he was cleaning up the
Went in front
area?
of zoning.
but if he's putting a fence up, did we approve
well.
that? If it's in the wetlands.
Zoning might not have sent it back to us.
I don't see a notice in the fence,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that.
Yeah, Amy said it went in front of zoning, not planning board, so.
Yeah. But so it didn't go before us then. Okay, so,
It didn't go before you guys.
no, and
No?
that, it should have.
Not the 6-foot fence.
Not the fence, because if it's.
I know
in
years
wetlands,
ago-
it
I
should
think
have.
it's an 8-foot fence, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow.
But anything within the wetlands should come before
Yeah.
us, even if we're putting in,
Even
a-
if it's a dinky little fence.
yeah, even if you're putting in like anything.
Anything, yeah.
Putting in a horseshoe pit,
So,
Right.
I agree with you.
you know, so.
So the
fence
issue
should have.
is that well, we'll talk about it later.
Okay, so we'll take a look at that.
So those two will take a look at.
Yeah, and then we can talk about it next meeting, see if we need to send out some letters.
excuse me,
Yeah.
Debbie.
Yeah,
I just want to point out that since I've been on the board in a very few short weeks, that this is the second time it's come to our attention that zoning hasn't sent something back to conservation that should be, and they're only following zoning laws and regulations. And
Because
there's some,
any project should, any
yeah,
project
there's
supposed to
some
get checked out with
communication
each
issues
board.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and public notices are sent too, public hearing notices, so.
No, but
So do you mean regarding this, like the 597?
yes.
Yes.
Like, why didn't that come before us?
They don't have, zoning doesn't have the authority to enforce or amend the Wetlands Protection Act. They have to send it back to us. Zoning's not the final stamp.
Yeah.
And this is the second time it's happened. And it can create huge fines to the town.
Yeah.
And
So
if
isn't
we
the onus
decide to-
on the homeowner there or the property owner? Not on zoning?
No, it'd be on zoning. I mean, and there's already multiple lawsuits against zoning for the exact same things.
Yeah. But should the homeowner know anyways, so if they're in wetlands, that they need to come before conservation?
They could be
You know,
trusted.
they
years
should
ago,
know
they
that.
used to always come with like, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, these are the 3 boards you have to go in front of.
Yeah.
Step 1, step 2, step
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know what's happened.
That's too bad that they don't have that.
Yeah.
Well, did you
Okay.
guys get a letter from planning board? Sorry.
Mhm.
I had our secretary send you a letter regarding the fact that we hadn't looked over 592 yet. Did you get a letter?
592, 597?
592 Plymouth Street.
Let me see the new
Did you get a
project.
letter?
Oh, yeah,
the new project.
Yeah, 0 and 592. Yep.
That you haven't looked it over yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but you might have, and I didn't read it. But again, they're not gonna, I want to double check their wetland line before we do anything, before it goes any further.
Agreed.
Because that's 3 years old, and I don't know if anyone's ever gone out to confirm it, so I want that done. And he also has to fill out the stormwater management. So
No,
that
I
has
just
to be done
mean like
before.
communication between the boards, like
Oh, I got
making
it.
sure that we all, you know,
Uh,
instead of taking word from somebody that's standing in front of us stating, oh, well,
Right.
we already did this.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen where some people have been like, oh, well, we were approved. And they
Right.
said this,
Yeah.
and they weren't.
Got
And
it.
so.
A lot of times we say pending the
We really
approval.
should have like
Yeah.
letters in front of us and read from the other boards, because a lot of information should be passed back and forth. Like when you guys approve something, you should probably send out an email to
Maybe
the
a
other
little-
boards that says that you did this or you didn't do this. so
And
that
then
we
you can put that
understand.
in your file, so when they come before you, you can open up your folder and say, okay, I got this board and this board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
it says that they,
100%.
yeah.
I'm on board with improved communication and
Yeah, but that would help right there.
policies.
Yep,
That-
sounds good. Maybe something we can start implementing.
We can
All right.
implement there and maybe
Eversource gas
we'll-
maintenance.
Yeah, so,
Okay, yeah.
so
and
last,
others
yeah.
come in.
So last one is the Eversource gas maintenance.
That is all
I
gas.
asked
I
you
think
who
that's
were
3 in
board
there,
members
just for
and
the
other
initial.
Yeah, we can,
Another time.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, they
Need a
have.
motion, or do we
Don't even
just,
look at
Do
it.
we need a motion or just signing?
we're just signing?
Yeah, any questions, concerns anybody have with this?
No.
No.
Okay, so I'm just gonna sign for building conservation. And let's see. These are all for the Selk Edge streets.
Oh, just need one sign?
Just need one.
Okay, good.
And- Okay. Anything else anybody has before we adjourn?
We have no bills.
Oh, Miss Debbie, did everybody see Debbie's email?
Cool.
Yeah, she sends us emails all the time.
Debbie's leaving us.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yes. In 2
My last
weeks.
day is August 3rd.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Ah,
So we're very
Here we go
sad.
again.
I know.
I know. Well, I want to try to leave it more organized, obviously,
Thank
for the
you.
next person.
So we,
Also,
but thank you for everything you've done though.
You're welcome. It was a great experience.
You'll be here for the next meeting.
Yeah, you'll be here for the next meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
I'm
Okay,
really
make a motion.
disappointed to find out
So-
that
To
Deb's
adjourn.
leaving. I'm really disappointed to find out you're leaving.
Anyone make a motion to adjourn?
I'll
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
All right, thank you.
I gotta fly.